So up on the healing bench today, we have a 2001, I do believe. Yep, 2001 Kawasaki Vulcan 500. I knew the girl who owned this, and she had a small accident on it and decided she wasn't going to ride anymore. And it's been sitting for a couple years, and I'm just doing a cursory inspection. I hooked her up with a friend of mine who bought it off of her, so now I got to get it running. Like I said, it's been sitting for a couple years. The gas in it smells terrible, and she's telling me that the clutch pack is stuck. So that's all the information I have. So we got this thing over here yesterday, and like I said, I'm just going to do a cursory inspection, more for seeing what's up, seeing what's damaged, what's not. So if we look around, we can see this probably happened on her small little get off. The fuel in the tank smells terrible, so obviously these are going to have to come out and get cleaned up. Probably throw a rebuild kit. I know she tried to do some of the work herself, but I don't know why the stator cover is unbolted. It's got one bolt down here that I've seen just holding it on. And I've got all the bolts. She gave us all the bolts and all the plugs and stuff. So first order of business is pull that off, pull that bolt out. Let's go ahead and pull the stator cover off, see what this gasket, what kind of shape that's in. If it's in good shape, then we can just bolt that all back on. I've got the cover that goes over the front sprocket, not a big deal. The only thing I have done is I pulled this screw out to take this side cover off. The only thing I've done so far. So feeling of the clutch. Clutch is nice and tight. We got motion down there. She gave us a brand new battery, but all the plugs were off of it, and it had some acid in there, so I think a lot of the fluid evaporated out of the battery just from sitting for a couple years. So it's not full of battery acid, so we need to get some battery acid in that. Let's go ahead and take a walk around the bike. Carbs, chokes move. Let's see. The return is a little slow, but carbs don't feel like they're stuck. I'll have to wait to see when I get them off, see what they look like. Like I said, the gas in the tank smells terrible. Looking over it, to my understanding, this thing has brand new tires, brand new brakes all the way around, but we have some juice right here, and it's sticky, so I don't know what that is, so we'll have to look at that. Front end looks good. Don't know if all the lights work yet. Chances are they probably do. Going around the bike. Or blinker standoffs are deteriorated, both of them. So have to replace those. See what we got down here. Looks like brand new rubber. Still got the nipples on it. Looks like somebody cored out the exhaust. Chain's got a little bit of slack in it. No big deal. Rear brake, let's see where that adjustment is. So the thread stopped there, so that doesn't look too terrible. It's inside the pipe. Going further around, if we look down inside there, we got a bunch of rubber in there. Here we've got toolkit box with no lid. I don't think that's in my box of parts that I got with it. Everything looks good. It's got LED lights on it, so all that's going to come off. That's what that little switch is up there by the key. That all looks good. Tank looks decent. We got pressure. Weeble wobble mirrors. Yeah, both of them are loose. No big deal. Otherwise, it looks fairly clean. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the same or close to the same engine out of the Ninja 500. But I could be mistaken. That's a tiny little radiator. So I think the first course of action is going to be get the tank off. It's got some juice in it. I wish you could smell that. That smells terrible. Get the gauge cluster off. Get the tank off. We'll get the carbs out. Pull those apart. See what they look like. Been looking at this air box, and how do they expect you to clean the air filter on this thing? A little snorkel. See down inside the hole. Got a foam something in there. But cursory inspection just so I know what physical damage there is. Other than that, it looks really clean. I did charge up the battery a little bit and just crank it over just to make sure that the motor is not locked up, so it does spin free. Let's see, yes, got brand new brake pads down inside there. It's cracked, don't know how long that's going to hold on. That one as well. Nothing loose there. So here's the first look. Like I said, just cursory inspection. Go around it. Now I did get a box of stuff with it. She gave us this gasket because I'm assuming she was going to try and pull the clutch apart, but that is not that. That is this guy over here on this side. Now, I'm not begrudging her for trying to do it herself. I think that's amazing. We just have to go in and just be extra cautious. So here's the bottle of battery acid. This was only had about yay much in it, and there's still a couple cells that are pretty dry. We got oil filter. Now the oil we have, it's regular car oil. It's not motorcycle oil. So we may just toss this in there just for testing, and then when we get all done, do an oil change on it. But we have Castrol GTX, then we have a quart of Valvoline, then we have another quart of Castrol GTX. Ooh, we even get a funnel. Look at that. It's a funnel. Always need those. So here's a bag of bolts. And then we have, there's the two plugs for the stator cover and some miscellaneous hardware. Oh, we have a receipt. Let's see what Sydney was buying in. Alright, so this gives us a little bit of a clue. This receipt is dated 6/05/20. So that's when she bought oil, some socks, 2 utility lighters, the funnel, and I don't even know what this $3.98 is, BV1050 PLT. But that's on 2020, so that gives us at least a year right there that it's been sitting, or at least she bought this stuff to try and get that apart and fix it. Here's a Fram filter. There's the box that the battery came in, and here is the front sprocket cover. So other than that, that is all I know about this machine. And it's going to be a fun little project. The only bad part is it's 102 degrees this whole week. So yeah, that's going to be fun. But I'm going to give this thing a really good once over. I'm going to check the valve clearances, Make sure it doesn't need that, any of that. We're going to rebuild the carburetor. Obviously, we're going to pull the stator cover off. Make sure that gasket is fine. Clean and adjust the chain. And I'm going to try a couple tricks to get the clutch, if the clutch even is, which I think it is. I think the clutch is stuck together just from sitting, so we're going to bathe that in some oil and do a couple little tricks to get that freed up. If worse comes to worse, I'm pulling the clutch out. Carburetor clean and a sink and adjustment. Get rid of all this. But they do work. I mean, mostly. Depending on how you bend it. But we have some strips up under here. And some up under there. Probably do some new plugs. You know, all the good stuff. I'll probably make a couple more videos on this thing depending on what I see when I tear it apart. Until next time. Well, we got the carbs out of this thing. And cursory inspection is nasty. You can see all the road grime and stuff. That's all normal. I wish you could smell this. But if we look, just see the goo. Yeah, good stuff. Now, this slide was a bit stuck, but I stuck my finger in there and it just popped loose. You can hear the vacuum on that diaphragm. Hear the vacuum on that diaphragm. So that looks good. Hoses all look good. I don't care for that plastic tee, but whatever. And we had one fatality. I think I already threw it away. But that little flat or Phillips screw head, which is just like this, wouldn't come out, so we had to easy out it. But other than that, it's fine. We gotta get the air box out because that's kind of nasty in there. I might have to look this up, but I cannot imagine that you have to pull the carbs to get to the air filter on this. So I'm sure it probably pops apart somewhere in here, just don't know. So I'm gonna pull the whole box out, clean it out. Ports, we don't know about the ports yet. Let's grab a drop light, look down inside. Rough and brown and black, just like I'd imagine. Yep. Onward and upward. So I got the air box out, and I'm sure if somebody out there who might possibly have watched this, when I said the comment about getting the air filter out, apparently it just comes right out of that slot. And I'm sure somebody was sitting there calling me an idiot and a retard. It's like, you just pull it out. Well, I've never worked on this thing before. I don't know. But we got a bunch of garbage. We got old fuel, trash, grease, gunk. And here's the air filter that came out of it. Gooey. We're not going to reuse that. We got a K&N air filter for it. So I'm going to do my favorite trick on this and purple power. Spray that thing down. Hose it off. Good to go. Got the float bowls off. We can see down inside. There's some cruds. There's some goo down in there. As to be expected. Yellow tinge. Smells wonderful. Check out that jet. Yeah. I may have just clogged it by pushing on that. But this jet looks good. Now, this float. Good, good, good. This one? Not so much. There we go. Sticky. So I'm going to go ahead and get these pulled out, get everything pulled out, separated, using dirty bins, because all this got to be cleaned up anyway. But we're going to get all this stuff pulled out. Don't know what kind of goo is down inside there. end in there. Then we'll flip it over. Go ahead and pull the caps off the top. Got the carbs off in the ultrasonic. The solution is nothing more than water. Let's see. Palmolive dish soap and a good concentration of purple power. While I've got the bottom one going, I've just been going around with a toothbrush and getting all the grime and stuff off the outsides of them. But I want to show you something. Everybody buys these caustic chemicals and stuff, but this one's been in here for, I'm going to say, about 10 minutes. I've reset this at about 3 times. It's 5 minutes a piece, but I had the carb sitting in. So this bowl has been under, or this carb has been under here for about 10 minutes. Yes, I've cleaned these up a little bit, laid them in, but I set that one in there. I just want to show you something here. So notice the color of the seat for the needle, for the float. Look at that. Purple power, this soap, this water was brand new, fresh when I started. But check out the difference. I think that shows it best right there. So we're going to let these things chooch a little bit. And obviously I'll flip it around, let the other one sit in, then get the little parts in a reusable coffee filter, put all those in there, let them float around, let those things get cleaned up. And while I'm doing that, while this is going, I'm going to go and pull that stator cover off and see what's going on behind it.